So for those who don't know, Jay is a famous TikToker. If you go on TikTok and you scroll, maybe you've seen some of his reels. Yep. So I want to know the creative process behind Jay's work and what it's like to become so influential, what it's like to have so many followers, and how did you get there? That's something very few people can talk about. So we have someone like that here. So without further ado, take it away, Jay.
Thank you, brother. That was a nice introduction. I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is that before I manifested any amount of followers, I was rehearsing what it felt like to be a successful creator. And then once it came with a massive, massive amount of anxiety and an expectation to, I guess, perform for your audience. And so 2 years, well, 5 years in, because I manifested 1 million followers in a month in the month of April 2021, I believe, around that point. And that was just due to a very unique style of content I was doing, sketch style content, essentially locking two different voices of me in a room to have a conversation, whether that be like the sage version of myself and then the innocent kind of victim of life, and let them talk, whether that be about the laws of the universe, whether that be about angel numbers, whatever it may be. And at first, it was never to do with the audience, it was just to do with ensuring that I understand the concepts that I'm learning about better. And I think that's the reason why they popped. And so, this whole thing about like what it's like to be influential, I feel like if you don't have the vibrational current of authenticity already baked inside your content, you're cooked. Because you end up locking yourself into a persona, and that is in a sense, the death of your whole page, because you start to perform for the algorithm, but the algorithm is nothing but an echo chamber for you and your own, your own thoughts. And so, yeah, that's a big thing that I talk about in my book, creating for yourself and not the audience.
I was gonna say, do you not think it's a good thing to like play a persona? Do you not think it's a way that you can actually reach a certain demographic? Because a persona is just an archetype at the end of the day. Like in the same way that Thor, for example, he plays the persona of a Viking Norwegian guy, and so that in itself is something that like pulls a certain demographic, you know?
For sure, for sure. But I find that he breaks that consistently, and that's what people are drawn to. Like I remember, I don't know if you'll like me talking about this, but there was a video that he made, and it's probably the one that sticks out to me the most. And it was him talking about how he was crying on call. Do you remember that one from months ago? Yeah, and he was like, "Oh, like I was just talking about how sometimes I don't feel like I'm able to lead, and I don't feel like I'm able to." And that's not very like, Thor's a very masculine, charismatic guy most of the time, but I think when I define a persona, it's playing into one archetype all the time, and nobody is one archetype all the time. You wake up, sometimes you're doubting yourself. Other times you wake up, you feel like you can take over the world, and so that's what I mean when I say persona.
Yeah. I mean, look, I guess what you're speaking into is just raw, authentic human experience. I think we've come out of the days of like performative social media influencers. I mean, if you go back like 5 years, or if you go back 6, 7 years, that's what everyone was doing. It was like, look at the cars I've got, look at the money I've got. I mean, look, Dan Bilzerian was like the top followed guy back in those days. Ty Lopez.
Knowledge.
That was the thing that was popping off. And now it's like when you go on social media, it's literally people like realness, they like authenticity, they like you showing not just what's on the surface, but what's underlying as well. And that's how you build rapport, that's how you build connection, that's how you build community. And yeah, that's just the way that social media is going now.
100%, bro. I just wanted to say, like, there was actually a time where I felt so, because of the fact that I built a quote unquote spiritual audience, there was a time where I was actually scared to even show my meals because I was eating fucking chicken or steak or smoking cigarettes or this and that. That side of my life, I felt like I had to just hide away in a neat box because spirituality became its own fucking religion online, basically. You know what I'm saying? Veganism, crystals, this, that, and being one of the, as I say, main TikTok cult leaders of that age, like 2020, 2021. I got 22 million views on a video about crystals, and it was at a time where I was very deeply, I guess you could say, indoctrinated into New Age spirituality before spiritual responsibility kicked in and self-responsibility kicked in, and understanding that I was the person that was giving all of these things power. They're just, yeah.
I mean, look. Yeah, truth be told, I fell through the same thing. It's like, I spent many years building a business persona. Like, I'm a guy that's a business guy. I'm a guy that makes money, whatever. And then I had to go for I remember I was holding on to that image. Like, I need to be seen as someone that's always making moves or closing deals or building something, whatever. And then I realized how much I was attached to that identity, and it was almost stifling my expression. Like, I couldn't actually express what was authentic or true. And then I had to go through a process of just dissolving that. And I think one of the things that really helped dissolving that was speaking about me giving away my business. And then 5-6 months later, having $20 in my bank account and just sharing that transparently to my audience, And, then I liberated that attachment to the image of being someone wealthy and someone that actually even has a business. Who am I now? Do you know what I mean? I'm just Leo. There's something beautiful about that. And I think anyone that's on social media trying to build a brand gets to realize that it is shadow work on steroids. It's like you have an opportunity to liberate all the different attachments that you have to a self-image, all the different attachments to being perceived in one way or another. This is your opportunity to just let it burn in the presence of all the people that you fear of the most. Truth be told. And so, yeah, I think everyone should be on this path of creating content and putting themselves out there,
Even if you contradict yourself, because we are walking contradictions as it is. We're half human, half God, I believe anyway. And it's like, the more that you're able to understand that everything connects to everything, entrepreneurship to spirituality, spirituality to creativity, creativity to business, all of these different things, it's like, they're just different polarities, and the more you play with both of them, the more trustworthy you come across to everybody that's watching your content, because you're not trying to stick to one of the other. You know what I'm saying?
Real shit.
I have a question about the first statement that you made is that you had anxiety when you started getting these followers. So I'm curious about when you started raising up the numbers. Did you feel like you had to change your style of making videos because of such a large audience? You have to cater to them. And also, where did the anxiety come from?
Okay. So, like I said, the path that I had to, building my audience online, it was very dramatic. Like, 1 week, I was a customer assistant. What's it called? What do you call it? A customer service? Not even Sainsbury's, brother. It was an insurance company, and my only job was to sit at home and connect these customers to whether it be sales or get their gas boiler safety checks, all that shit. But because I was very deeply immersed in the law of attraction at that time, I was just rehearsing this feeling of being a successful creator, so much to the point where I was making content on shift. And so I had the law of assumption on tap, to the point where when I eventually got fired from that job because of the fact that I was making TikToks on the bloody job, something kicked in, and I was just like, yeah, I'm already successful. It is what it is. I'm already a successful creator. 2 now. 2 weeks later, I start actually weirdly on a drunk night. I was drinking, and then I had this really cool idea to use my unfair advantage of, I come from a family of performers, actors, musicians, all of that. I was like, why don't I just start to implement this theatrical style into my spiritual content. And the moment I did that, 3 to 4 sketches later, the shit blew up more than I could ever even have anticipated. And I think it's like when you find yourself, when your dreams actually come true, you're like, oh shit, like I've done it now. Like, so what's next? And the only thing that I could do is pump out more of this content, which I loved. But at the same time, it was like, okay, now I have a new problem, which is keeping it. And it becomes this thing that you cling on to now because you actually have it. And I think that anxiety just came from the fact that, I was 19 at the time when it happened. I felt like a lot of people were seeing me as this guru archetype because I was playing a guru archetype. But what people didn't understand was I was actually more the innocent. I was actually more the seeker, the questioner in that dynamic. And so I got hundreds of DMs like every day going like, oh bro, I'm going through this thing right now, I need you to help me, blah blah blah. And in my head I'm just like, I can't fucking help you, bro. I don't know shit. I'm just using this kind of
Self-inquiry.
for self-inquiry. Exactly. And because of that, a self-sabotage began, because I was like, okay, cool, all these people see me as a guru, but I ain't no fucking guru. So I just started to kind of lean more into the chaotic archetype, more into the degenerate, more into, smoking weed every day and kind of destroying the creative lifestyle that I made for myself before this point, because it was all I wanted. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure you guys have had similar like experiences working in jobs and stuff. You're like, I'd rather die than do this now. Like, it's so soul draining. But then you realize, devotion is a path that requires courage on every level. And so it became a journey of kind of just dissolving those attachments and dissolving those expectations of, oh, my audience wants this, my audience wants that. I had to step away from it all. And the moment I did was the moment that my authentic essence started to come online again. And yeah, I hope that answers your question, bro. About where the anxiety came from.
Yeah, I have another question, one more question. That, like I said, not many people have this opportunity or ability to grow these many followers. Like 1 million followers on TikTok is already massive. And it puts you at a kind of celebrity status, also, in a way, online status, online celebrity, TikTok celebrity.
Why are you laughing?
I'm laughing because of the fact that, like, for me, because of the fact that, remember, I made all of these sketches in my blood clot yard. I didn't have, like, the moment I showed people my following, oh my God, bro, you're a celebrity. But, like, I was living like a normal person. I'm just making videos online. And this is the thing about the online world nowadays. It's like, before, as a creative, you need permission from the outside world. You need to get an agent, you need to get a marketing manager, you need PR, you need this, that, and the other. But now that we have this opportunity online where the internet is all of those things, it's like you could be this person who is simply speaking about or creating these amazing things online that other people resonate with, but you aren't exactly a celebrity because you're not getting that external validation from anywhere else. But with that being said, when I moved to St. Lucia, that's when I realized, okay, fuck, like, I actually am big, because I had people like, oh my God, what? That's Jay Kaizen in my small little island. Like, St. Lucia's maybe 100, 200,000 people at that, and they knew me from my content online. And again, being somebody that didn't have a slow rise, that was able to kind of build the lessons and build the kind of experience of being somebody that's well known. Many of those experiences, I just froze. Like, I was just like, not even, bro. And it kind of comes back to that whole thing of, like, I can't take compliments for that because it didn't even feel like I did it. It was just a byproduct of making real, true shit that resonated with me. And then everybody else started saying, like, bro, it's like you're living inside my mind. But it's like, we're all living the same fucking life through different eyes and different bodies.
It's beautiful that you can maintain that humility, It gets to some people's head.
It's true.
reach that kind of influence, I guess.
It's true.
Yeah, I mean that's it really. I mean I got a subtle taste of it after I did that. You know, I started doing those webinars with big entrepreneurs in the space, and I remember going to like a big marketing event at one point, and I had multiple people coming up to me every single day like, "Oh, you're Leo, da da da. Let me have a picture with you." I had like friends from like that weren't even in the country just like sending me pictures of me. Like, yo, like people are sending me pictures of you, bro, blah blah. And I was like, fuck you know, you know. So I got a little taste of it, and it, you know, it was nice for the ego. I got to like ride that wave briefly, but yeah, the question is that something that wants to be pursued? Not necessarily. I think, look, if you're working your craft and you're passionate about what you're doing, and that becomes a byproduct of it, then you know, beautiful, let it be. But I don't think anyone should really want to. I don't think it's a thing that needs to be pursued, I guess. It's like just share your gift, share your love, your passion to the world, and if that happens, great. You know, then you get known for that.
Exactly.
But we
Creating it is the real win. You know what I'm saying? That's a fact. No, it's something I talk about in my book a lot. It's like creating is the real win. It's not about the like, because I feel like a lot, even my clients, they talk about their videos flopping or not getting a lot of likes or views or engagement. But I'm just like, did you make it to get the likes and views and engagement, or did you make it to for yourself and to explore a different part of yourself? And the moment, it's weird, I'm sure you guys know this as well, when you let go of making a lot of money and just serving your mission on this planet, that's when it comes. Like, it's always a thing of it always comes back to detachment. Always.
When there's an attachment to like mission, then it's like you're putting this box around your expression, and it's coming from a place of like, yeah, there's just attachments. But when you just dash it in the bin, you're like, whatever. You're like free falling into creative expression. It's like, oh, this is just what wants to happen now. And then I think that's when the best work comes through.
That's where genius is born, cuz.
That's it, bro.
Go on, Just.
That is literally the best form of expression for a human being, period. When we talk about what does it mean to do our best and show up and live in integrity with our highest good, no matter what your mission is as a human being, the paradigm that has shifted in modern society is that we consume more than we create. Humans used to be entirely self-sufficient, creating everything for themselves. And the more that we've become dependent on the outside world, the more that internally as well we become dependent on the validation of things outside of us to give us purpose and meaning in this life. One of my favorite books in the world, The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. I remember after like my 80th pass, it finally like slapped me. When he talks about doing your best, what that actually means. To do your best at anything means to do it simply for the sake of doing it, not with any attachment to the outcome. You're not doing anything as a means to an end in this world. That's the ultimate act of creation. You're not meditating as a means to get to enlightenment.
More focus and more peace.
Exactly. You're meditating to be in the present moment, and through that presence, all of those things come, but they don't come through fixating on the thing. You don't create to be an entrepreneur and a creator. You can hold that archetype in your mind, and because you weren't attached to the identity, you're like, I already am. I'm creating this for myself, for self-inquiry. Like you said, that's the reason that it popped. You're like, there was an authenticity there where it was just non-performative, yet at the same time, you're playing the ultimate game of playing the archetypes and performing these things. There was something that you shared with me, Jay, when it was the first time we actually had a conversation. It was massively inspiring, and it didn't sink in the first time you said it. I had to like go sleep on it and then try and journal on it. But when you embody this man's philosophy of being able to sketch out these archetypes outside of yourself and try to play both sides, the level of awareness that you get for the subpsyche of the people around you becomes massively elevated. Like, I'm a naturally extroverted person. My friends, they get absolutely livid and annoyed when I go out and I'm as extroverted as I am. It's just annoying to them. And they're all like, how do you just engage with people like that? And as I'm thinking about the dialogue and the questions that they ask me, things that don't occur to me as frustrations or pain points, and I play that archetype, I'm able to write as them and play that role, it also brought into me a deep sense of empathy and compassion and understanding. It's like, this is why this is actually important to speak about. This is to dissolve the fear and the attachment and the contraction in the human being that is afraid to express themselves. And you can do that with your style without telling somebody that this is what they should do as like this high and mighty figure. You can just be the one receiving and the one giving. Stand in humility and be the sage.
Walking with the person that's watching your video. Your conscious mind only absorbs a sliver, a small fraction of the shit that you come across every single day. And most people are out here looking for, you know, the same solution at 10 different directions, watching YouTube videos or watch it like, but the reality of it is, because they're in that vibration of seeking, they're not actually absorbing anything. So imagine you're going through whether it be YouTube, Instagram, blah, blah, and you come across something that captures your attention because you are them in that moment. Mm-hmm. And they're like, oh shit, this is me. From that moment, when you can kind of walk them through the transformation instead of embodying the archetype of somebody who has gone through it and now you're telling them the knowledge and you're like, okay, you know, here's the source. It allows them to actually believe that they can change within themselves. Because the main thing that even my friends back at home tell me is like, nah, bro, I can't start a personal brand. That's just not me, bro. Like that's just not me. So I'm just like, well, what is you? Because there's people out here that are very deeply introverted talking about the life of being an introvert online. You know what I'm saying? So this whole thing about personal branding and building, to anybody who is watching, you are building your own world. You are building your own, like you are giving a voice to the voiceless, to the millions of people who come from a very similar subsection of reality as you, with the same programming and the same everything, bro. So everybody has a voice, everybody has archetypes that they can embody and speak into. And yeah, that's the core of the whole philosophy, is polarity, you know?
Truthfully, man, I think that everyone has some kind of value to bring. It's like either you're the person that's gone through the thing and you have a story, experience, skill set to share, or you're in it and you're just sharing based off of your moment-to-moment experience, you know? So I think that, like, it doesn't matter who you are, like, play the character, express yourself, you know? And I'm speaking to myself equally as much as I am to anyone else, truthfully. Because I go through my phases where I do not want to be seen by anyone, and I'm just in hiding mode. And then there are moments where I'm just, you know, all right, this is what I'm going through right now. And, yeah, we get to embrace both sides, you know?
I'm in that right now, bro. I haven't posted in like 2 weeks because... Sorry, I said I'm in that right now, bro. Like, I haven't posted in 2 weeks because, yeah, cool, I've been working on the soul script, the book and stuff. But there comes a point where... Thor talks about it all the time. He's like, I go through these bursts of creation... And then there's hermit mode. Again, polarity. Again, it's like the more you want to share and the more that you have like this light to bring, there's a very thin line where you start you start putting these expectations on yourself to create, and you're like, oh, you basically become a content robot. And ensuring that your videos and your brand as a whole comes from a true place, and, you know, just embodying where you're at in that moment. I think that's the reason why Thor's video was so... I think he posted like 6, 7, 8 months ago, but it still sticks in my mind because he made a video in a point where he didn't even want to be seen. Mm-hmm. And he was documenting that experience of, you know, the battle of leadership, but feeling small and feeling that imposter syndrome. So I guess there is a lot of charge in that as well.
It's real, bro.
Very real.
And that's the revolution. Is realizing that there is no destination. There is no acting like we have arrived anywhere. We're all in it right now. We don't have to act like we're not. We're human beings, all going through the same whacked out shit in this crazy world. You're all being exposed to the same distortions and different realms of society through different cultures, the same manipulation, the same dogma, The same illusion of separation being perpetuated across all humanity. And to delude ourselves into thinking that we have arrived and we can actually fundamentally judge anyone for where they are in their journey is insanity. This is one of the things that I've been working really hard to break through since I've been here with the boys. There's this deep shadow inside of me that holds myself to an extremely high standard. And it's like, I thought it was compassionate and loving to like urge that standard out of other people. And it was coming from this piece inside of me that thought I was broken. Right? So the performer in those people that wants, like I did this, and you can see it happening across like the entire old influencer agenda. They want to try and become the savior archetype, the guru archetype, when fundamentally they are still not acknowledging on the and being vulnerable and courageous enough to be vulnerable, to acknowledge their flaws and their weaknesses and their humanness. Right? This is, and becomes so fake, it becomes repulsive. And in this ecosystem, that's just fundamentally impossible to sit in without getting this specifically from this man right here, this flaming ball of truth that is just constantly burning away illusions all the time. It's a really, really powerful thing. And that's why on social media, now more than ever, people just want the raw, authentic vulnerability. And it's because we're all so damn shy. We've lost our courage to just be ourselves. We've lost the human connection, sitting here face to face, all speaking to each other through screens, and oh, here's me in this picture, and like, this is where I'm at. We're sharing a complete facade of what our life is.
Highlight reel.
It's just the highlight reel. And the age where the highlight reel is what makes someone great and famous, it's dead. It is dead. This is a new age. So, yeah.
That was that 2017 Instagram, innit? That was like 2017 to like maybe a little bit before. I think it was before lockdown, where everybody was still. I think about this so much. 2020 was like the great destroyer when it comes Shiva for real, like literally, because for the first time in probably humanity's history, with the technology that we have now, we were able to think, like, stop everything that we were doing and thinking about like the work that we're in, the way that we're treating others. We actually was able to stop and self-inquire for the first time, and also have this device that mirrors back to us our own biases at the same time. And so I think it was that point where maybe it was to do with the age of Aquarius or whatever, but it all shifted because people becomes, like you said, it becomes repulsive to everybody when you're playing out a facade and everybody knows it's a facade. I think
The whole world is in pain.
yeah. But then why is it then that, in the 1970s and the 1980s, celebrity culture was so dominant? 90s as well, 2000, like even now to a certain extent, to a certain subsection of people. But I feel like more and more by every day, celebrity culture as we knew it is dying. And the new, to be fair, the new celebrities are streamers, bro. People that are actually showing themselves every day. Even they're still performing, but it's harder to perform when a camera's in front of you live, 24/7. Why is that? What's the polarity there? Like, what do you think?
Between the old age of celebrities,
Celebrities and Oscars and Emmys and all of this.
it's exposure. Like, the amount of access that we had in peering into these people's lives. There was a mystique about celebrities.
And royal family as well.
Exactly. That whole world was just an enigma to us. So we were able to imagine and aspire. Now the illusion is that we see so much of what's actually happening that we think we know the truth. So we delude ourselves into thinking that their world is some sort of perfect reality. And then we get clung onto the drama as well. So it also has created this excess polarity. But when there wasn't all of that exposure, human beings had something to aspire to because they just saw glimpses of themselves and that people they wanted to aspire to a life of luxury and fame and expression. I mean, they were the ultimate performers. But now it's all on blast. And you see how fundamentally, we'll say just simply unclean some of the behaviors of these human beings that are at the top that we call A-list celebrities are. And I think it's just becoming, it's becoming a little bit repulsive.
Yeah, that's so absolutely true that the age of celebrities is dying. You can feel it, and I think everybody here can, as well as you, the audience. And the personal brand celebrity seems like it's emerging. So people want to know you, trust you, and feel like they're the same as you, which celebrities definitely are not like that. Multimillionaires, and you can just imagine maybe 10, 20, 30 years ago what their lifestyle must be like. It must be heaven. Now things are coming out that they're actually not the heavenly type. They're engaged in quite gruesome acts, some of them. So, yeah, the best thing you can do is leverage YouTube.
No Diddy.
Exactly, no pun intended, literally. Yeah, the best thing you can do is leverage YouTube, leverage Instagram, leverage TikTok, and all these social media platforms, and to get your message out and get yourself out, your personality, because that is going to be so invaluable in the future.
On the money, Shiva. For everybody that's, like Leo spoke to, he thinks it's invaluable for everyone to start sharing their life as a creator and using these platforms. When we talk about building a personal brand in any way, all a brand is, you think of like a brand, it's the emotional imprint that's left on the heart of the human being when they engage with you. That's all the brand is. And what really impacts the person is when they can see a piece of themselves in you. That's all they're looking for. They're looking for community, for relationship, for equality. They're looking to be seen. Like they're not the only ones. Like they're not an enigma in the world. And that's particularly the power of your content, is because you it very much makes people feel not alone in their process. Yeah. Because it embodies that archetype so powerfully. But creating a personal brand now, the individual has the power to help alleviate suffering for millions of people through just having the courage to be vulnerable and share their process. Because the world has allowed us through these little black mirrors in our hands to be isolated from each other and to think that we're alone and that we're enigmas in the world. And when somebody peeks through and they show that they've carried their cross, this is the suffering that they've been through, this is what they're going through, this is what they're actively creating through the suffering, through the pain, they're still choosing to push forward in acknowledgement, not through repressing these things and hiding these things, but in acceptance of their current process. They are still making the choice to create. That is the most inspiring thing, period. And as a whole, the universal message of being a creator, when we're out here making our brands and sharing our stories and traveling the world with friends, what we're aspiring to do is to show people that it's possible to put down the old life of dogma and slavery and to choose to not be manipulated anymore.
And what does that dogma and slavery entail? Actually, like when you actually because we always say this, right?
That's real.
Let him, sorry, the mic.
We always say this, innit? We always say like, oh, the world is enslaved. We are in a matrix, like. But one of the biggest things that I don't hear people talk about enough, specifically in the same vein as building your personal brand, is the fact that fortune favors the bold and the brave, and yet we are all programmed, specifically being from the UK, to dim our light, to be the same, to be uniform, to become like, I don't know, there's this inherent sense of like when you pull out a camera, for example, and you're in public, people are going to give you dirty looks. In specifically where I'm from, they're going to be like, oh, who does this guy think he is? Like, this guy thinks he's some fucking celebrity and blah, blah, blah. And that breeds this embarrassment every time we are alone and we have this camera in our hand and we're talking our thoughts. And as I always say, the camera is an internal mirror. It picks up everything, every micro expression on your face that may signal embarrassment or shame or tension. And then when you actually, if you was to post that, the other person on the other side, they pick up that shame, they pick up that tension, they can see it they can see your hesitancy. And so I guess my point there is, when it comes to this embarrassment, this inherent feeling that you are this ego-filled person, that's the thing that stops the medicine of the content creation journey, because it's not egoic to share your messages and to share your perspectives on anything, because you do that every day in a conversation. I just find it kind of wild how, for me, when I first started my personal branding journey, that was exactly the main thing that I was struggling with, like feeling like I'm condescending or feeling like I'm on this high horse all the time. And I just wonder how we can actually cut through that.
I think you figured that out, bro. That's your style of creation. That's literally what you set out to do.
Yeah, because I guess in that way I can say what I want without it being me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, facts, bro. You're enlightening me to my own fucking philosophy. Like, that's so true. That's something that I don't even talk about in the book. The fact that you're able to, like, all of these crazy perspectives that we talk about alone and behind closed doors, you're able to bring on social media, because you're not actually being you. Like, the moment I start to talk about things in a talking head type of way, the amount of hate comments I get is mad. But then when I switch the polarity and I'm talking from this abstract character, I'm able to do that and spark conversation and actual, I don't know, dialogue in the comments, constructive dialogue, because nobody's attacking the self. Wild.
Actually putting
Wild.
people in the conversation. It's like they're joining a conversation between two people.
Between
they can
two
add
people.
Their 2 cents.
Yeah. And that could be about anything. That could be about, like, somebody give me, like, a controversial ass thing to say right now. Anybody? Go on, Leo. I know you have something.
The COVID.
Oh, yeah. Bruv, I already made a sketch about that already. Like, I think it was 2 characters. One character was talking about how, the jab is this evil thing. Damn, this was so long ago. I can't even remember. Did anybody here get the jab? No. Real nigga, bro. I love it. Sorry, I love it because I come from a place where... Oh, wait, are we not allowed to swear or slur on this? Calm. Yeah. No, I just feel like we come from I personally come from a group of people who got it and was trying to, like, shame me for not getting it. And I don't know. Oh, shit, is it raining?
It's okay.
Alright, cool. Yeah, I'm kind of waffling right now. Does anybody want to take it?
Yeah, I think it's raining, so we should cut it here, unless anybody has any final thoughts, very potent words. Mic is open, yes.
Mr. Justice.
You asked what the chains, the dogma, the slavery actually is, right? Media.
Yes, please speak on this, bro.
Quite literally, etymologically, the root of the word means the goddess of illusion and deception. The primary objective of this entire facade of social media has been to divide people, to make us think and feed us back a mirror of our internal biases so that we think everyone thinks like we do. And we get uncomfortable sitting in the pain, sitting in the discomfort of conflict, and we don't know how to deal with it. So we run and we push people away, and the illusion of separation gets greater and greater because it's divide and conquer. That's the chain. Keeping us divided from each other, thinking that we're fighting for something different when we're all fighting for the same thing. That's it.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack here, and maybe we should dive deeper into this, the divide and conquer. And if you, do you have anything to add in?
No, I was just gonna say thank you for inviting me onto this podcast. This is the first time I've actually like been in a long form conversation on camera in quite a while, and this is such a refreshing style of content. Just four people having a real conversation and not even having a plan about it, bro. More people need to start doing this
I
shit.
didn't even know Shiva was recording. He just started talking.
Yeah, that's it, my friends and ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. We're gonna let the guests of our show let us know what they have going on and where they can find where you can find them. So I'll give it up to Jay.
Alright, cool. Me first, as you know, at Kaizen, j.kaizen on Instagram. Yeah, I've just released the book probably by the time this came out. It's called The Soul Script, and it's for any creator out there who wants a method to turn their inner dialogue, their inner truth, into culture and qualified demand. Whether you're an actor, thanks Justice, whether you are a coach, a creator, anybody with a potent message, and you actually truly want to explore that through an art form, buy my shit, bro. Anyway.
That's real, bro. That's real. And just to speak into that for a second, just getting to skim this brother's his work, seriously. A quick conversation totally changed my perspective on how I show up on social media and how I create content and my own journaling process, and it's a whole thing. It's really quite the revolutionary style of self-expression. You can find me at Altruist Justice on IG or at Justice Calabro. Both accounts are current and being used, and also in the New Earth University. I work alongside Leo and Shiva and Thor and now Jay. All together here, we're trying to build community. Well, we are building community to help revolutionize our world, to help dissolve these illusions of self-separation and bring people offline back into the real world together and empowering them to be leaders. So if you want to connect, I would say connect with me inside of the community and follow Thor.
Bro. All my melanin warriors, go inside, go join New Earth community, bro. I can't lie, it's a safe space. Didn't know that before. I can confirm it now.
Yeah, my name's Leo. You can find me in Ubud, just strolling around. And yeah, that's about it. Blessings.
Yes, subscribe, like this video, leave a comment, tell us what you think, and see you in the next video. Peace.
Peace and love, ladies and gentlemen.
And the topic of discussion today is life itself and everything in it.